Hello and welcome to the FMSL podcast. I'm Cam, and we do have today a very special guest with us, as we said last week. So I will welcome Mr. Christopher Rowe.
Yeah, I'm not the
Look at
special
him on
guest.
the
I'm
sofa,
just
all
the
chill,
casual,
all chill.
the same old. No, it's good to be back, Cam. How are you, brother?
I'm all right, brother. You?
Yeah, good week. It's been a good long week, but FM wise, it's been up and down. I've had a couple of tough games. Still got a couple of tough games to go, but yeah, we're doing well. How's your week been?
Yeah.
FM
It's,
wise.
FM wise, it's been pretty bog standard, as you can probably tell. I managed to lose twice, probably at least one of them games I should not have lost. It was total, FM wise, it was just awful. But I did manage to get Haaland scoring eventually.
Ooh, nice.
It didn't matter because it was the last game of the week, and I really didn't care what happens. I was trying to plummet, and it didn't. I wanted to win, but I also didn't mind if I lost. It was one of them points because I finally found something that works, but it might not be a long-term solution, so we will see. But I mean, our guest of the honour today, he has unfortunately, I can see him in the bottom corner, plummeting down the division on the other side of the FMSL wall. We would like to welcome back. He was he the first guest we did? I think he was. I think we recorded.
It was early. It was definitely early days.
Yeah, one of the first two. I think we did. We did this. We did the interview before we did the first episode with this guest.
Yes, that was it.
Yes, so we would like to welcome back after a long hiatus, Mr. Craig Sumner. He is back. Oh, it's not worked.
Oh.
There we go.
There we go.
Back in the middle. Yeah, it was about a year ago because my little baby's just had her first birthday, and you had me on just after she was born.
God, it was.
Yeah, because we talked about me buying Mbappe in the maternity ward.
Oh yeah, that was it.
So God. That's really weird that it was that long ago. I mean, I'd have to go back on now and check it. Jesus, that sounds mental. How are you, brother? You all right?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, life's good. New job. That's going well. FMSL wise, not going so well. But can't have everything, can you? So, as you say, plummeting towards the depths of at least I'm bottom of the league when there's no relegation. So
exactly that.
There is always that, isn't there? There is always that.
I've had a few relegations in my time with Chrissy's new club, Crystal Palace. They went down a few divisions. I think it must be when I get British English sides. I think that's the problem. But yeah, we've had a slow start FMSL wise.
That's what we'll blame. We'll blame that for the time being. So it was. It says on here 10 months ago.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah,
a lot has changed in 10 months. A lot has changed in 10 months.
A lot, yeah.
I mean, Jesus, a lot. It feels like we're kind of doing a full circle moment here. I think we'll probably get James Bond. Actually, no, we'll get Simon on next just to restart that carousel.
Keep going round.
The only thing that's not changed is we're still playing FM24.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the only thing that hasn't changed. It's one of those, isn't it? We go around, and it's good that we've still got something going on, but it's just I really would like to get. I know it probably won't happen, but I would love to get versus on the new one just for a couple of months. But
yeah, it depends if it's in the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't say it like, but it's always a hope. It's always a hope. But we shall talk about you now being part of what was it, Chrissy, the New World Order?
NWO.
What the fuck is that? Yeah. So you have now become one of the leaders of the new cycle, let's say, after being a background admin for quite a long time.
Yeah, it came about because obviously there was only really me, Simon, Chrissy, from the admin team that actually wanted to carry on or have the motivation to get something started. Everybody else seems to want to rest, which is, it's fair enough. They've played FM, they've been in most of the leagues. The FM24 cycle had ended. And then obviously we needed to do something to extend it because the new game's not going to be out for a little while. And it just, me and Simon talked a lot on, we play a network game. Both me and Simon are involved in that, along with a few others from the league. So we just got chatting, and obviously we got Chrissy involved as well, who was, 24-hour draft. Must be some sort of record, non-stop.
That was a long draft.
Yeah, I chipped in for a couple, but then all of a sudden Chrissy's just taken over, and it's like, has he been doing this for like nearly 24 hours now?
The thing is, once you get in a routine with that draft, you just want to keep it going.
Exactly,
and it's really hard.
It did go really well, didn't it? And all the managers were really fully engaged, and we've got a good set of people playing now, haven't we? We've got a nice couple of leagues, games are getting played, even so, which is nice. Everybody's got really strong, decent teams. Everybody's coming up as 4-star already, so I think everybody's quite happy with them. If we get another window out of it, I think that should be really quite good. You never know; we might even push it on longer, because we're end of January now. We've still not had anything announced about the new game, which they promised. So we might be playing this for a little longer.
It's coming up. Tomorrow's the deadline for the end of January stuff, so there's nothing tomorrow. I'm going to assume there is another delay, which means more FMSL. And I think, having actually reflected on it, I think having this second cycle has actually been very good, because the ones who, even though some have been here a long time, we've played on a lot of the drafts. I think it's nice to kind of keep going, and the ones who've wanted to just step back, that's totally fine. And I think it's good that we can do something else rather than just sit here and go, oh, I'm playing this game, can't be bothered. It's just, it kind of, I think probably most of them who have left have just kind of not probably picked up FM for a while. So maybe we might see an increase of people wanting to come back, and then we get a whole new cycle again, which would be quite nice. It'll be quite nice. I do like the format we've got though. Now, I do.
Yeah, as I say, we tried to come up with a few different ideas. Originally the idea was that it'd probably only be a one-season thing, so that's why we had the 2 divisions. But then obviously it looks like we might get a second season, so we can now use these 2 divisions to split those into Premier League, Championship. So if you finish in the top half of your division this year, you're going to be in the Premiership. If your bottom half, you're going to be in the Championship. So it all fitted quite nicely, and we went with what people wanted. People wanted the longer format in the vote, so and everybody seems to be happy playing the games.
Yeah, I've not heard any complaints. I mean, I think actually playing, there was a little bit of, people going, oh, we have to play 3 games in a week, but from that, actually, I think it's been better. Personally, I think it's been better to have 3 games in a week, because even though you might be playing 4 or 5 if you're in all of the cups, it's still, you're getting a load of games. You probably get more games than you'll play on a single save, especially if you're working 9 to 5 or you're working shifts or whatever. This is the release, and I think for me, when I started uni and started having a job just before COVID, my FM hours just plummeted, and I was only playing FMSL for like 3 years. I maybe had 1 or 2 saves, so it's nice to have, this to still be, constant. So yeah, with the process of picking the teams, and this is something that I probably couldn't have asked Chrissy. Might have been able to ask.
Chrissy didn't know.
You are
Chrissy
on.
Did not know.
So Chrissy didn't know. So you'll know. What was the process behind picking the teams? Because I know I was one of the ones on this podcast to turn around and go, please, please, please make them, bigger and better sides.
Okay, well,
so how did
what we did? Well, what we did first of all, we went on to, I think it was, I can't remember which FM website it was, but they had all the teams ranked according to current ability, potential ability sort of thing. So we sort of went down that list, and we went to sort of the middle ranked teams. So we started with that as a go-to. Then we were speaking to Jake and Kev Heenan about how they sorted the teams out. You know, Jake mentioned something about you find the 16 best players from the squad and then average their best ability out. So you take away all the dross and all that sort of stuff. So Simon went away and did that, and he came up with based on that, he came up with all the teams. You know, we had a few. You know, Newcastle seemed a bit of an outsider, but they ended up staying in there. Who was the other one that? You know, obviously, Udinese was sort of at the lower end of that. But that's sort of it was that sort of process. It came about over just a couple of days. You know, I was coming to the end of my old job, had a lot of free time, so I literally just sat on the computer at work and sort of picked these teams, and between me and Simon, and we just picked them that way based on that. We went for the more of middle ranking rather than lower ranking because we wanted to try and stimulate the internal window for the first window, because sometimes the first window internally can be a little slow because none of the players that out there are better than what you've got. But at least if you've got mid-ranking teams, you've got players there that, you know, can help you out, or, you know, be slightly better than what you've got. Especially you've got teams like Newcastle in there, and maybe Villa as well, and a few of the other teams. There's names there that people will go after. So we wanted to try and get that stimulation. It seemed to work. That there was quite a lot of internal deals done, and then you know, well, someone spent 320 million on an internal deal, didn't they? So plenty of internals done. And then we didn't want to go too high, otherwise you kill out the draft, don't you? If you give someone a top club, you know, all the players that people want to draft have been taken. So that's how we came about with the teams.
Yeah, I
Craig,
think
do you
internally, I don't know if you go on, Chrissy.
No, sorry. Do you think that picking these teams, obviously, people have been more interested? Do you think it's been? Well, what I'm trying to say, do you think people are more invested into the league now than say they was the last season when we did the Super League thing? Have you noticed a change in the league at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Super League it started off all right, didn't it? I think when we were playing in the league format and everybody was involved, it was going all right. You know, games were being played. The majority of games were all played within the first couple of weeks. But then, once people were out, they obviously had no further interest. And then the cup part just dragged and dragged and dragged.
Mm.
The final wasn't even played to it after we'd sorted all these teams out. I think we're doing the draft at that point when the final was being played. So I think I think people had lost interest in those sides at that point. And then obviously freshening it up, giving them these teams, and yeah, it definitely did. Definitely.
Well, yeah, I mean,
It's a
you
shame,
spoke
really,
about.
because there was some
Go
good.
on, Cam, sorry. Go on, mate. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it's a shame because there was some good sides.
There was.
There was some good sides, and then it was a shame that people. I love my team. Like, I'll remember that forever, even on my deathbed. It was some team. But go on.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm just saying. Obviously, you was talking about the playing 3 games this season. At first, I was a little what's the word I'm looking for? Optimistic about it, but again, I think it's been a great addition to the league to go back to the 3 games. I know that some people have mentioned with the home and away side of things, but I don't really think it takes it into account as much as people used to think.
No.
And again, it's another reason. Hats off to you and Simon. I think that's brilliant. Going forwards,
do
you think there will be another league? Do you think we will do more seasons in this format?
Yeah, let's see what happens with FM25, doesn't it? You know, it's all up in the air depending on that, doesn't it? If that game comes out and it absolutely rocks it, and it's got loads of stuff in that people are, you know, and everybody goes and buys it, and if some people haven't got a powerful enough computer to run both, they might not sort of want to keep it going. But you know, if we have enough people that still want to do it, then we'll carry on, and we'll adapt the league. You know, just like we did when the Malaysian lads all left us at the end of the last cycle.
Yeah,
we'll just change the league structure. You know, you know, the good thing with the format we've got, we can be very flexible with it.
Definitely.
4 or 5 managers walk out. It's like, okay, let's just move teams over and do this, and go from there. But again, it depends if people are interested, because this league doesn't work when you've got managers that aren't invested. If you're spending all week chasing people up and your game's not getting played, that just frustration more than anything. But if people are playing, you look at the tabs on, Monday night, Tuesday night games are flying in. Tonight there's been loads of games played. So people are investing. As long as people are still playing, that's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Definitely.
So, talking about the league and the games going so far, yes, we've got to talk about what's going on over the FMSL wall at the Eastern League and the Western League, and I've got to be honest. What's going on, man? What's going on? Because being bottom, I mean, I know you've only played 5 games, and there's a chance that one win takes you out of that bottom zone. But
right, let's get the sob story out now. Right, okay.
Ross Barkley was injured. I'm so sorry.
No, all I can say is I think this Villa team have somehow run over a load of black cats. My FM luck this cycle has literally gone. The Heenan Cup started all right. I had 2 penalty shootout wins, one against Alan, one against Louis, and then I had an extra time loss against Anish. So 3 teams that are normally quite hard to beat, and I've not lost to any of them effectively. A couple of penalty shootout wins and that. So I thought, that's all right. It's not too bad. Everything's working. Then it came to sort of the league format. I played Valencia first, Dan Bicker. Absolutely dominated the game. 1-1, 95th minute. Really meant to play 4. Highlight comes. Ball gets into the box. My defender heads it out. So I'm thinking that's end of game, isn't it? 1-1. No, he's midfielder, 30-yard screamer, top corner. So 95th minute, 96th minute, lost 2-1. So that was the first one. And then I played Danny, who's flying at the moment, and I was 3-2 up, 65th minute, disconnection. Absolutely gutted, because the game was going my way. I could see Danny was making changes, and it was still coming up my highlights. So I'm thinking, okay, everything's all right here. It was a really good game. It was end to end. Harry Kane was having a blinder. He was on like a 9.8. He'd scored a couple of goals. Played the second game. Harry Kane got a 6.1, and I lost 2-1. So, same tactic just didn't work. So that was that week. And then last week, played Furman. Several different tactics of his kept flying up, and my team just didn't have a clue. We got battered. Then I played Joe Travis at Marseille, getting absolutely battered. 2-0 down. Ollie Watkins gets sent off at 2-0 down. So I'm thinking, that's it, game over, isn't it? So got to the 80th minute, we're still 2-0 down. So I just thought, stuff this. I'm getting beat anyway. I just put everything on attack. I put 3 at the back. Played Trent Alexander-Arnold as a wide centre back. Played Declan Rice as another wide centre back, and went with basically didn't have a midfield and put everybody else up front. 2 goals in injury time, 2-2. I thought, right, that's all right.
Brilliant.
That's not bad, is it? Take that. I've been battered all game, done nothing. We're down to 10 men, and all of a sudden, I've just gone full on attack. Trent Alexander-Arnold running down the wing as a centre back, Declan Rice down on the other. It actually worked quite well. Then I played Joe in the cup the day after, because we were going to play both games that night, but something came up, and we won 3-0. And I'm doing all right in that cup, so that's got all right. Then I played Darren the other day and just couldn't get a highlight, and lost in the 87th minute. It's just one of those. At the moment, the team's good.
Yeah, it's one
the
of
team's
those.
good. It just can't. It's just not having any look. Like, Darren was outplaying me, and I get a goal disallowed for offside from a corner at 0-0.
Well,
I'm like, where's the offside, please? So it's just one of those. Hopefully this week I've got some tough games this week, but hopefully a couple of those will turn my way. I've got Jake, Mr. Meta himself. So
come on.
we'll have to see what we can do there. Then I've got Andy.
You gotta beat him.
And I've got Craig Duns and Napoli as well. So I've got quite a tough week this week. All being played tomorrow, so that'll be a fun night.
Oh, that will be a great night.
It'll be a very good night, yeah.
I shall be keeping tabs on what's going on.
But it's one of those. Like, just need to find something that just seems to click a little bit more than what it has done. Because all the players are there, the team's good. There's no doubt about that. And there's been moments from most of the key players that give me some sort of encouragement that things can actually work. It's just getting that consistency, whether certain tactics I've had at certain times haven't worked against certain other tactics. Simon's doing well in his league, and I beat him in the cup the other week. I beat Joe in the cup and had a few other close games, and it's just comes down to that little bit of bad luck. There's nothing much more that. It's not like the tactics aren't working. It's just sometimes the game decides that it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah, the game knows from the start if it's not going to happen. Yeah. You can tell. Exactly. We've played this game long enough to know.
Yeah. Well, bizarrely enough, I played a game on the network game last night, and we're getting towards the end of the season in that. And I'm away at Brighton. I'm Newcastle on that, and I'm away at Brighton. And I'm 2-1 up. We're going into the 90th minute. And so what I do is my goalkeeper decides I'm 2-1 up, 90th minute. I've got time waste on. I've got slow pace down. I've got all that on. He boots the goal kick straight to their player, and they come through, have a chance. So I thought, right, I'm going to change this again. We've only got a few minutes left. I'm going to put play out from the back on. So at least we've got it in our back half. What happens? That next goal kick, he kicks it straight to Evan Ferguson. So there's something the game's going to get you, isn't it? If it wants to get you, it'll get you. So
who is your goalkeeper on that? By the way, I'm very curious.
What, Newcastle one?
Yeah,
it's Carriers because Nick Pope fell out with me.
Oh no! That explains everything. That explains.
I know. We're in the third season. I did start as Brentford. Was doing okay with them. Then I got offered the Newcastle job, and I thought, right, this is the only way I'm going to get close to Jake with his meta tactic Crystal Palace team, and he's literally bankrupted them to buy all the best players. If you read their finances page, you'd be weeping. So I ended up with Newcastle third season, and I sold Kieran Trippier, and it upset most of the players. He's 37. What was there? Something ridiculous. But so Nick Pope fell out with me. He went a big red in morale. So it's like, right, you better go out. And the other keeper I've got is Carrier, so he's had to play. So try and get another one next season.
No way. It happens. It happens.
It does, yeah.
I just want to talk quickly about your draft business this season gone. So obviously you have already mentioned Trent Alexander-Arnold and Harry Kane. Yeah. I'm just going to run through quickly here because I've got them up. You bought Robin Lewandowski, 43 million. I think that's a solid buy. Declan Rice you mentioned as well. Harry Kane. And then the one that got me, and I think it got a lot of people right here in the little house that we all have, was Jack Grealish going back to Aston Villa. What was your process behind that? It can't just surely be for the. It can't.
I brought out the other week. I said that was one of my favourite picks.
Yeah, he was only 50 million, and
the value was there.
I do like him in real life. I think he's got that about him, and I like his attributes away from actually playing football as well. Because he's really good with the supporters and the young supporters, isn't he? He's got that about him. But yeah, it's just because his value is 50 million, and the original tactical plan was to have Liam Bailey down one side, and then Grealish as the inside forward down the other side. But sort of things have changed. I've played Grealish in a few roles, and he has done reasonably well. But yeah, it was one of those, and I really sort of ummed with that because I had to really get the calculator out. How much money have I got left? Where am I at? But yeah, no, he was someone that I wrote down quite early on because I was surprised he got that far because he was only 50 odd million. So for the players we normally buy,
your other two picks as well. I mean, Sergio Ramos on a free. You know what? I rate that highly.
Yeah, I'd run out of money at that point, so it was either him or Pepe. I think Pepe was still there as a free, wasn't he? And he was still pretty decent. He might have been 40, but he was still actually all right.
Yeah, this is like, do you know what? You saying them exact words. He's only 40 and he's all right. It's like listening to me when I listen back to podcasts and read back my messages in the transfer window. That actually hurts. And then obviously you signed Leif Davis as well, who I rate very highly on this game. I think he's a solid player. I think he grows a little bit as well.
There's a bit of a story behind the Leif Davis one. I liked him. I had him on. I had him with Brentford on my network save, and he did great. So when I went to Newcastle, I took over just before the January window. So the January window's come, and I've gone, right, I need a left back, a backup left back. So I'll buy Leif Davis. So I've put a bid in, left it to the assistant manager and holiday to the next game. And when I've come back, I've bought him for 124 million. And I'm like, what? What's the game done here? I'm sure I only put a 20-odd million pound bid in, but it's come up. It must have been all the add-ons. They must have added on all the additional things to get the transfer through because I'd gone on holiday. And I've come back and I've bought Leif Davis for 124 million. Then here's the best bit. Holiday again, European squad registration comes up. My assistant manager doesn't register him.
He didn't get picked.
So he falls out with me.
You need to do that stuff yourself. You can't leave it to Jason.
I think the trouble is when you're on a network game, you're trying to get the games played, you sort of leave that. But yeah, I bought him because he was decent on that. And I needed a backup left back to Lucas Dingy, whatever he's called. I didn't have a backup there. I had a backup right back in Manny Cash. Got a good bank of centre backs. The rest of the team had backup options through the squad as well, but I didn't have a left back. So Leif Davis was like just bought as a left back.
For what you paid as well, he's solid.
He's a solid player. Yeah, I've only really used him as a sub at the moment.
Do you know what? I've got a little story about Leif Davis. I pronounced that right. So obviously I was holding the draft, and we were flying down the groups. I think we was untimed at this point, and I'd luckily had the day off. I was off that day. Was I off that day? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was. And so we're coming down the line. The 7th round is when Leif Davis got picked, and Edison went, Leif Davis went, Verratti went to Napoli, and then it was Joe's pick. And Joe's like, right, hang on, I'm going to have to come back to you. I said, all right, do you need a price or anything? He said, no, both my picks have just gone. I was like, what? I was like, what are you on about? Both your picks. It was Edison, obviously he picked Aaron Ramsdale, and then it was Leif Davis who he wanted to pick. He ended up having to sign Destiny Udogie for a lot more money. I mean, to be fair, Edison was 250 mil, so.
Well, that happened to me with one of my picks. I think a bit of Harry Kane pick. I literally had ready typed in my phone the fullback DiMarco. I've got Trent one side, DiMarco the other. That'll be pretty decent. So I've literally typed him in ready because I know my bid's coming up. Craig Dunn, DiMarco. Literally the one before me.
It was as well. So you went Harry Kane.
I just literally turned to my wife and went, I've just lost a player I wanted. She said, well, why don't you buy Harry Kane then? For some reason, my wife likes Harry Kane. So I said, why don't you buy Harry Kane then? So I said, all right.
Someone's got to love him.
So I just thought,
That's
nothing to buy him, and
play.
he's been the main man at the moment. He has got me quite a few goals. Just need to get the rest of the team ticking around him a bit.
He's a decent player.
He is.
He's a decent player.
I used him before for Nantes as well. So, you know, I know sort of how he works and stuff. It's just the only one.
Are you playing two strikers, Craig?
I've chopped and changed.
Only because your second pick was Lewandowski, which was a great pick at 43 million.
Well,
and I was a bit baffled when you said Declan Rice, fair play, great midfielder, obviously on an expensive side. When you said Harry Kane, that did like take me back a little bit.
Well, yeah, I was miffed off from losing DeMarco.
Yeah,
really. So it's like, who do I buy now? You know, sort of, it was on the untimed draft, so I could have took my time probably and had a look and come back, but it's just when Charlotte turned around and said, just buy Harry Kane. Like, he's not gone.
Buy Harry Kane.
Just buy Harry Kane.
Why not? 200 odd mil. Just do it.
200 mil. Just do it. Just splash it all out. Yeah. Because I thought anyway, I've got the Villa squad. I've got lots of quality backup players. You know, and there's no issue there. So it wasn't like I needed to literally rebuild a whole team. There was a decent team around there. So yeah, no. The original plan was always the 4-2-4. Sort of chopped and changed a little bit because it's not quite worked. But once this is finished, I'm going to mess about with it again before my games tomorrow. See if I can actually find something where they can actually pass the ball to each other. That'd be good. But yeah, no. So that's where he came into about. Lewandowski sort of came up because he's a reasonable priced option, isn't it? Again, you're thinking 1-2 seasons. What is he, 34, 35? You're going to get that out of him because every version we've played, Lewandowski goes on to last season. He's not one of those that retires quite early, does he? He seems to, because of his natural fitness, go on. Yeah. But yeah, so that was the ideas around those. I wanted Declan Rice to partner. Is it Kamara or whatever he's called in midfield?
Kamara.
Yeah, Bodo Kamara, who literally everybody wanted. I had two players that Pau Torres and Kamara that everybody that practically knows how to play the game, you know, Niall, Jake, Furman, Lewis, all wanted these two players, and I thought, if you lot want them, they're obviously good. So I'm not selling either of them.
They are good. You know, they are good,
and they've both been fairly decent again.
Good.
So they've just got to stop running over black cats. Just got to get that bit of luck going our way one day.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
Oh, it will. It will. You know, to be fair, even though the results haven't been going too great, I actually do. You know, the team's really good. Most of the games, apart from Furman the other week, which was a bit of a hammering, but the Indonesian lads do give you a battering once in a while, don't they?
They do.
That's the only game that hasn't been tight. Every other one's sort of been one goal, or you know, all the World Cup games went into extra time. So,
see, I don't think when you walk back to what you said earlier, I don't think it's to do with tactics as such this time round. Yeah. Every team is class. Every team has millions and millions of pounds worth of players. It's not like we've started a new cycle and you only get 7 picks. I mean, all right, you get 7 normal free draft, but combining it was a great idea as well to get that draft itself. I thought, which is brilliant.
Yeah, no, that was one of the ideas we had. I always thought the free draft died a death after like after the first maybe 10, 15 picks. It just sort of, just give everybody more options. You know, you've got however 10 picks. If you want to use the free draft, use it. If you don't, use one of your picks buying a player from the draft. So, you know, as I said, I don't think there was that many free draft players picked. Whether I know you got Pogba, I got Ramos. I think there was a couple of others.
I think it'll be a bit different. I mean, me, you, and Simon have spoken about it before. In the NWO, I think it would be different this window coming because there was so much quality that got released. Yes. Because people were spending so much money. We had all this extra cash. We had all these big players. So there were a lot of players that if you went back to the first cycle last season, so beginning of 2024, some of them players that got released, you would have bit your hand off to have them.
Well, I was looking at when I was doing the squads with Simon. We split the squad loads out. So when I was doing some of the squads, I think it was Leipzig. I think that was when Connor briefly registered the team, did he? Then didn't stay much long. But I was literally releasing players like Silva. I'm thinking, hang on, he's a decent forward. He's not registered him. Off he goes. And he had a couple of others as well. Then, like for myself as well, I think I released players like Ross Barkley,
Morgan Rogers.
Morgan Rogers went, because
I think there's so many. I think I'm really looking forward to the draft, the free draft next year.
And this is why I'm playing for first draft pick. I think me and Alan are having a battle out for who goes for first draft pick. So that's the plan.
Yeah, I think you'll get it. I think you'll get it. But Craig, I do want to thank you for your time today.
That's all
obviously
right.
We have we're going back around now. Second cycle. We've got a lot more. We've got a lot more games to be played, and I think we will go on to a third season. But before you leave, we are going to move to our. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's covered it up. So, obviously, track of the week for Chrissy this week. I want Chrissy to explain this one.
What's there to explain? It's simple and explain. It's simple and explain. Why should I complain? Lyrics of a great song. We're an FMSL podcast, FM based. The winner will take it all eventually. They come on the radio the other day because bang into Magic FM lately. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's getting old. But yeah. Classic. Winner takes it all. Obviously, it won't be any of us three, but still, the winner takes it all.
We can try. Well, it depends if Craig gets bottom pick. That will be the one. For me this week, I've gone for something a bit different. A guy who I've seen twice in concert, Finn Forster, local lad from Borough. Go and listen to it. It's a mint song, just come out this week. Proper banger. It's good. He will go places. And Craig, obviously, since you are the guest of honour this week, we have graced you with a pick. And I'm not too sure you knew what I was on about first.
No,
but you have chosen. You have chosen.
I think I get it.
Yeah, I've chosen that because every time I play a game on FMSL this cycle, it just fits with that, doesn't it? When that's 25 yards.
To be honest, I should have put the other one on.
Well, Living on a Prayer, that's my team when I said
Living on a Prayer, because that's you at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's you at the minute, Living on a Prayer.
Just let me have a highlight. I just want a highlight.
Just want one highlight.
Just one highlight where I have a chance. Yeah, we're not asking for much.
Yeah. So, tracks of the week are The Winner Takes It All, Finn Forster, Long Nights, and Oasis Stone and Fat Anger. Well, Craig, thank you very much for joining us here at the pod. And thank you very much to Chrissy for coming on and gracing us.
Cheers, lads. See you later.
Hair.
Cheers, Greg. Pleasure.
Thank you very much, lads. We'll see you soon. So, this is the FMSL podcast, episode 27. Staying out for the Sumner. There we go. I got some dodgy lyrics in there as well. And we will see you next week back for the regular shenanigans of me and Chrissy. And we will see you somewhere down the road to take care.